blanket or a bolster will be needed for this one. Just something so that you have support for this morning's class. And this morning is all about Svadyaya. So
self-study.
Self-study. Yay, Svadyaya. I love it.
Continue.
Yeah, it is. It's work. It's work. It's doing the work. So we'll get started this morning. And what I'd like for us to do this morning is to start out again in Vajrasana. And we're going to just do those 3 simple maneuvers. Just again, because I'm finding profound effects from just being able to stretch the tops of my feet and learning the things that I've learned. So I figured I might as well stay consistent and we'll do it together. But we'll do Vajrasana and sit up in that beautiful thunderbolt way. And then this one is, and I don't know if I've taught this before. I know Anne knows this, but it's some beautiful things to help with the stretching of the tops of the feet, the digestive system, just building core strength, doing some work on the knees. So it's the first one is Eka Janyu Uttana Kriya. And we can tent our fingers beside us, but we want to stay nice and tall through the spine. And we'll breathe on an inhale, filling the lower, middle, upper first. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. But we'll be lifting one knee at a time. So we're getting a really nice stretch. So Eka meaning one, Janyu knee, upward, Uttana Kriya, and then slow lower back down to that count of 6. And we switch it out. 4, 5, 6, and lower 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more on either side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And lower, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dvi meaning 2. So Dvi, Janyu Uttana Kriya. So both knees this time. So gently, and we tend to slip backwards. We want to try and stay upright. This takes the core to bring the knees up a bit, but very slowly. And again, getting that big stretch off the tops of the feet into the ankles and lowering 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one we'll do is going to be rising up on the knees to a count of 6, tucking the toes, sitting back to that count of 6. We can take another inhale to 6 and exhale to 6 while we're seated with the toes spread, working on any pineal and pituitary glandular disturbances. Then come up on a count of 6 and untuck. So let's begin with that one. So sitting nice and tall, and we can drop our heels out a little bit or bring them in. So difference being heels out if we're just sitting is at ease. When we bring the heels in, it's at attention. So just a little difference in what we do when we do it. So for this one, you can do either. Just depends on your body and what your body and your hips need. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, building that strength in the legs, the knees, tuck the toes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, rise up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, lower down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more round, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, rise, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So coming to a place for just a meditation today, a little bit to get us started with Svadyaya. Svadyaya is that place of self-study. So to turn inward for a few moments this morning, and just if you choose Vajrasana to sit for meditation for a few moments, fine. If that's uncomfortable, come to Siddhasana or Sukhasana. And I'd like for you to find Dhyana Mudra, and it is placing the right hand in top of the left, connecting the thumbs, and we just lay the palms in our lap. Thumbs connected. And just close your eyes this morning and check in with your breath. Every moment that we can take in Svadyaya, self-study, turning inward, introspection has so many different meanings, Svadyaya. Take the time to reflect, take the time to study your breath. Is it full? Is it complete? But pausing here in this beautiful place of quiet, just for a few moments, recognizing and honoring your breath. And learning the words, the mantra, Tat Vam Asi. Tat Vam Asi. I am that. Focusing on those words. And another beautiful meaning for Tat Vam Asi is you are what you seek. So contemplating, I am that which I seek. As we contemplate our breath, feeling the chest rise and fall, feeling the belly expand when we are full of air and prana. Feel the side body expand. I am that which I seek. Find 3 or 4 more rounds of breath. Planting that seed for our practice today. And I would love for us to gently drop our gaze towards the earth as we deepen that breath and slowly flutter the eyes open, but be very mindful to try and stay in that place of contemplation with your breath. From here, we're going to go from Vajrasana right into Balasana with another mudra. So Pushpaputa mudra is just the hands over the face, lying down in Balasana. It is a mudra of emotional balance. So again, in this place in Pushpaputa mudra, and just pausing here in Balasana again to become aware of your breath and the breath into the back side of the body. Noting the expansion in the body. Across the back, the shoulder blades. But most importantly, begin to notice as we find silence this morning in our yin asanas. Notice where the mind starts to wander. The awareness is the key here, just paying attention to what draws us away from Svadyaya, what draws us away from that place of self-study. Where do we start to wander off? Catching those moments, being aware of those moments, and making those choices to jump in and follow that conversation, or to just notice, be that observer. Sanskrit words, Svadyaya, Sva is own, Dhyaya is meditating on. So meditation on yourself. What is beneath all that we think we are? Doing the work of introspection. When I say work, it's work. Anytime we peel back the layers of who we are or who we think we are, to get into ourself. 3 more deep breaths here in Pushpaputa. Relaxing into the breath. And as much as possible this morning, staying in this space of self-observation. Maybe the work is too tough, but just observe. Observing the breath, observing the body's reaction to the breath and the mind. Observing the sensations as they arise, where they arise. So rising back up slowly. Coming to that seat on the heels. I'll show you where we're headed this morning. So Anahatasana, we will find a blanket in front of us or a bolster. And Anahatasana is that deep heart release. So we'll have our knees below the hips, and I'll walk you through, but I just want to show you where we're going. Hips directly above the knees. We're going to bring our chest down as far as is comfortable in this nice big stretch. Our head can rest here if we choose. Some people have the ability to bring the neck right down to the top of that blanket, sometimes right down to the earth. And then we'll move from there into Balasana once again with the support of the blanket for the forearms, maybe the forehead. Again, getting into the shoulders and taking the knees wider. Then we'll move into downward facing dog. Again, a very wide, relaxed Adho Mukha Svanasana with the head resting. And then we'll come up into Tadasana and then move into a contemplative Utkatasana chair pose. So if we will get started on our knees, coming up and just pausing, making sure that our knees are comfortable. We have support in front of us. Knees hip distance apart. And maybe just take a moment to bring the arms up. Take a nice big arch in the back, because that's where we're headed. Exhale, arms down at the sides. Bring them up into Anjalayasana, just right at our heart center. Let's find 3 more. Inhale, nice big reach up. Just a beautiful back bend. Press the hip points forward. Exhale, arms come back around and meet at heart center. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Just a little movement to get the back ready for that nice deep bend. So we'll come down to Varmanasana, tabletop. And we're going to make sure that our hips are right over top. Sometimes we tend to want to come forward or come back too far. We really want to maintain that nice 90-degree bend. Maybe coming down to the elbows first. Elbows directly under the shoulder blades, and just allow that sag to happen in the low back and into the heart space. Use your breath and your body awareness to slide out whenever it's comfortable for you, with the chin to the earth if that's available. This isn't always a very comfortable place to be. You look fantastic though. Breathe here. Notice what happens when we open our heart to this space. Notice what happens when we find a position or an asana that just doesn't feel as comfortable as we'd like. And maybe we avoid noticing altogether and just find the breath. Maybe the uncomfort or the discomfort automatically triggered a response to breathe deeper. Maybe the conversation in the head has already begun. How long will she make me sit here like this? Tuning it out, just noticing your reactions, your awareness, your sensations, and breathe. That's the true practice of Svadyaya. Be an observer of yourself. If it's comfortable here, give yourself 3 or 4 more deep rounds of breath. This is, again, not always the most comfortable place to be. But we learn to adjust in our discomfort and find ease. And that teaches us off the mat what we can do in the same situations. One more even round of breath, full as you can. Nice even round in and out. And notice how your body reacts to that beautiful breath. Slowly, we can place our forearms on that blanket, sending our hips slowly back into child's pose, balasana. We can place the forearms on it, or we can place our forehead on it. Again, we're still getting that nice big stretch across the front of the chest. Nice openness to our heart space. Delving into the center of our being. Tatvamasi. I am that. Notice what you're contemplating. Letting go of any tension in the hips, the low back, the knees that we may have created by moving from one place to the other. Notice any sensations across the thoracic spine in the mid back and the heart space. One more full round of breath. We can bring the hands off and the forearms off the blanket. Maybe push it aside a little bit, tuck the hands underneath. Tuck the toes under, slowly coming up. Finding Adho Mukha Svanasana slowly this morning, taking all the time that we need to find this morning's down dog. Maybe we take the feet out wide. Be gentle in positioning, be mindful in positioning the hands wide below the shoulders, pressing back, opening up the fingers. Again, let the heart space reach strong towards the earth. Paddle it out. Maybe find a few big, deep knee bends this morning. Maybe find a few rises up on the toes. Lowering the heels, feel the sensation in the hamstrings as they stretch to accommodate our being upside down. When it's convenient and you feel ready, rest the head on that blanket or that bolster, taking some pressure off here. Hands on either side. Again, elbows will be bent at this point. Take those deep breaths in this inversion. We turn ourselves upside down. We gain a new perspective. Not only in the physical body, but our energetic body. Noticing if ease comes here or discomfort comes in. Come back to that beautiful mantra again of Tat Vamasi. Ask yourself the question, who am I beyond the labels assigned to me in this life? Who am I? We won't be here too long. I'm going to leave it to you to determine how long you stay here, giving you the opportunity. Pausing, coming back into child's pose for a moment. When you're ready, arms outstretched. Maybe take the knees wider this time. Maybe find Pushpaputta Mudra. Maybe we explore with taking the arms long behind our back and rounding the shoulders. Very interesting that we have the ability to study ourselves enough to know what the physical body needs. Much more difficult to study deeply inward. What is it that makes us tick? Who are we? Besides the answers to all of the questions, you are what you seek. Why does that not come so intuitively to us? So from this place of child's pose, we will rise up again to Vajrasana using our fingertips. Tuck the toes as we rise up. We're going to come up again. Knees come up into the chest. We're on our toes. So we're strong here, balancing on our toes. We can wrap our arms around the knees. That nice big squeeze. Heels are up off the ground. Pause here. Take those breaths. A little more discomfort. A little more of an issue to find that balance. Option to you from here is to continue to rise strong with your hands at your heart center on your toes, or just bringing the fingertips down to the earth and rising. We all have maybe knee issues, ankle issues, elbow issues, whatever it is that prevents us from coming all the way up strong on the tips of the toes. Pause here and lower slowly in your mountain pose. Pausing in mountain pose if you have the ability to close your eyes and stay right here. Pausing in a gentler practice of mountain pose, but a powerful practice to your body, to your mental body, your emotional body, not the mental body, but the emotional body, giving us that strength that we seek. So lifting the toes up, strong spread of the toes, place them down one at a time, nice and wide. Draw the ankles back, find all of the foot, the entire outside edge of the foot pressed into the earth. Engaging the legs all the way up into the groin area with the strong calves, soft knees. Feel the tailbone draw all the way down to the earth. Feel the pelvic floor rise up into the body, holding all of our organs in place, tapping into our power center, our Uddiyana Bandha, our navel to spine. Everything below the waist is strong. Arms at our sides, palms face forward. See if we can reach out of settling into the ligaments in the hips. Reach long all the way through the crown of the head. Gentle tuck of the chin. Crown reaching for the heavens. Take the thumbs and gently draw the thumbs back behind you. Letting the external rotation of the shoulders and the upper arms help to lift again and open that heart space to your power. Notice as you turn inward here, how you feel in this posture. What's different here? Do we find strength and power here, or does this frighten us? Does our own strength cause us to be fearful? This is a place that nobody can take away from you. This is a place of our own personal strength and power. Find 3 more deep, full cycles of breath in your mountain pose. Staying strong and committed to the pose, to the roots into the earth, to that continued search deep within. Who am I? Who am I right here, right now? Last deep inhale and exhale. We're going to slowly release. Shake off the legs. Maybe take a moment to just find that little movement from side to side with the arms. Sometimes we can tense the body up in unbelievable ways. And then coming back to that center point, we're going to find chair pose. So finding about a fist distance between the feet. That'll allow us for the knees to come together for that support should we choose. But again, find those feet rooted into the earth. Gentle tilt in the pelvic floor, bringing it in, pelvic bowl tilted slightly. We're going to inhale the arms all the way up long, adjust them, draw the shoulders down the back, arms alongside the ears. Sit down with that long, flat back. Beautiful, ladies. If the arms are an issue above your head, we can always bring our arms down at our hips, out in front of us in awkward pose. We have all kinds of options here, but take the time here to breathe. Notice your breath. Notice the change. Notice where our mind wanders. And notice how we handle it. Beautiful, ladies. 3 or 4 more rounds of breath if you've got it. And again, this is your practice. So when you are ready, find your way into Uttanasana, that beautiful deep forward fold, and I'll know when it's time to move on. Take a few breaths here. We tap into our personal fire, inhaling as we rise, exhaling as we fold. Beautiful, ladies. Pause in Uttanasana. Take 3 long, deep breaths. And from here, I would like for us to step our feet backwards into Adho Mukha Svanasana one more time. We're going to move into pigeon today. So finding Adho Mukha Svanasana and extending the right leg out long behind you. So stretch behind you, maybe get into that hip joint, maybe bend the knee, just opening everything up here, and then bring that right knee down to the right wrist when you're ready. When it's comfortable, let the right knee snug right up to that right wrist. I want you to pause here. I don't want you to come down to the ground just yet. Open the fingers wide. We want that nice firm foundation below us. Take the left foot, walk the toes out slightly behind you. You can get a little more space here. And notice if your right hip is sitting on the earth. If you have to drop your hip to the right, I want you to make sure that you have support under the right hip. Pause here, take that back bend, maybe gaze up, open the heart, look up. And then slowly exhaling, coming all the way down, resting the third eye either on your arms or on the mat in front of you. Draw the right hip a little bit further behind you mentally. We take our visualization back to that right hip, and we can just tweak it slightly so that we find that nice little tug through that right glute. Pause here and breathe. Svadyaya. What brings you joy today? What brings you joy any day? What opens your heart up without having to do the work? What are the things that just naturally open your heart for you? Deep, even rounds of breath. Hands below the shoulders. Rising slowly, tuck the toes on the left foot, send that right leg long behind you. Move it out. Find a few bends in the knee, the hip, whatever works to get all the stiffness and the kinks out. And then extend the left leg long. So we'll bring that left leg out, stretching it out and finding a bend in the knee or some movement in the hips. Again, knowing your body. We can find our left knee at our left wrist when you're ready. Pausing, allowing the body to land where it needs. Walk those right toes back. Beautiful. Inhale, open up your heart space. Take that little back bend. Check in as you exhale, coming forward with that left hip. If it is not sitting perfectly square on the ground, tuck a blanket under the edge, a blanket, a bolster, a block. We want the hips to remain square. Protect your spine. Pause here as you settle in. Visualize the left hip gently being tugged behind you just a tiny bit. Allow the discomfort and the stretch in that hip to find ease with a few more rounds of breath. Letting go of the tension that's been created by the change in our body posture. Notice the impact that tension might have in our mind, where our mind wanders off to. Noting the change and contemplating how you handle change. Am I one who easily accepts change? Am I one that fights change? the self, Atman, our soul, a guest in this house of our body. Give yourself 3 or 4 more rounds of breath. How well have you come to know the guest that resides within? Is Svadyaya a priority in your life? Some of us love to study so many different things in so many different ways. Some of us seek so much more. Hands below the shoulders. Inhale your way slowly up. Tucking the toes of the right foot. Find that movement in the left. We'll come back down to the knees to Vajrasana. One last time for a gentle twist on either side. So coming to a tall spine, we're gently going to just allow the hips to slide over to the right and the feet to the left. So instead of nice. So sitting tall, lifting again through the heart space. Our left hand is going to come behind us, our right hand on top of the left knee. Inhale, create the length all the way through the crown of the head. Exhale, around to the left side of the body. Just a nice big reach all the way around. Remembering, let that twist begin way below the belly. We want it to work its way all the way up slowly through the crown of the head, wringing out the spinal nerves, energizing the chakras in our energy system. Inhale slowly back to center. We're going to take in the opposite direction, right from where we are. Left hand to the top of that right knee. Right hand behind the right hip. Inhale, open all the way around to the right side. Inhale back to center. Coming back through Vajrasana. Sit for one moment here and let's make a point of sitting at ease, dropping the heels out, nestling our bottom down between the heels. Maybe we can even slide the knees and the legs out enough to be comfortable sitting on the earth. Take those deep breaths. If this is too much on the knees, just find Vajrasana. Or maybe even a little support with a blanket, a bolster, a block. Pause here. Again, just breathing. Toes are inward, heels are dropped out. 3 long, deep breaths. Last one. Coming forward gently, bringing the heels back in, slowly dropping the hips off to the left side, knees and feet out to the right. We're going to find the left hand on top of that right knee, right hand behind us. Find that length. Inhale deeply and exhale, finding the twist around to that right side. All that movement coming from below the belly, starting all the way up to the crown of the head. Inhale back to center. Switching it out, left hand beside the left hip, right hand to the top of that left knee. Inhale, this twist is a little more up towards the top of the body. So we start still below the belly, but we can find a little more of a twist up towards the thoracic and cervical spine this way. Deep, even rounds of breath. Inhale back to center. Extend your legs out long. Take a moment to just shake them back and forth or bounce the knees up and down. And then bringing yourself back to your backs for Shavasana. If you need any last little movements in Shavasana, please feel free to take them. Any knees to the chest or stretches, massage the back of the head, massage the sacrum. If you need a blanket under the head or on top of the body at this point, pause here, breathe. 3 big deep breaths. Reset your entire system by simply taking the longest, deepest inhale you can and an open mouthed exhale. Soften the eyes. Soften the jawline. Soften the shoulder blades all the way down into the tips of the fingers. Soften the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way down to the tailbone. Let it rest. Let the hips soften and surrender to the earth below. The quads, the knees, the calves, all the way into the tips of the toes. Let the entire physical body melt into the earth. Let your heart open to all that is, all that was, all that is to come. Peek into every tiny little crevice, crack that you can find within the petals of your own heart. Study how you react to fear, to change, to love, to joy. Study your emotions as they arise from this place. One of the most important to me personally of all the niyamas, Svadyaya. Who are we? within this body. Starting to deepen your breath. Invite in those gentle movements to the fingers, the toes. And pausing this morning as we roll onto our left side to make a commitment, an intention to be an observer of all that we do, even the tiniest things like breathing, to the more complex tasks that present themselves to us. Get to know the guest that resides in this body. Before we rise, I found a beautiful poem, one of my favorites, maybe by Rumi, and it's called The Guest House. Before we rise, I'd like to share it with you. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whomever comes to visit, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Pressing your way up this morning to a seat to join me as we close. With hands in at our heart space, our eyes gently gazing downward, maybe as we close to Nasagra Drishti, the tip of the nose, that which opens and activates the heart. Take time to honor this body, this self that resides within it, all that we expect it to do, all the answers that are within only if we take the time to meditate on ourselves and find all the answers that we seek within. In love, light, and awareness. Thank you, ladies, as always, for being here and studying with me. In love, light, and awareness, I honor each of you. Namaste.